Alright, welcome back to the channel everybody. Aesop Grim here, and this is the continuation of my blind playthrough of RDR2 in 2025. Now, I didn't check the video, yesterday's video to see if what I said we were going to do. So if I'm taking this off course, I apologize, but I know that I have some general objectives in mind. And basically, I want to inform you that whenever I logged in to the game today, we were like around Riggs Station. I think I went up to see this trapper. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. And so I brought us all the way back, and I rode down here, went and checked out what all I have left to craft. Oh yeah, our horse was malnourished and Arthur was underweight, so I ate a lot of food and I fed our horse 8 times, and then later on I fed her 8 times again. So all that stuff is corrected. As a result, I ran up to Rhodes. The reason I did this was because I was looking for the bank robbery missions here in camp and I didn't see them. It was like 10:30 in the morning. So I ran up to Rhodes and actually stormed into the general store. I hit that door so hard it busted the glass. And I bought a bunch of food, like canned goods and stuff. And now I've come back down into camp, and as you can see, Lenny's coach robbery mission is available. So we're going to go talk to him. This is just the donation to camp. I don't see Charles' mission right now, and I figure it has to do with time of day, or maybe it's that he's only available on certain days. It'll be something like that. And we also need to go witness the public execution. I probably shouldn't be laughing whenever I say that, but gosh. And we have something here for Charles Chatenay. Investigate the commotion. That was the artist. They gave us the picture of the naked lady. And here's Brother Dorkins needs to speak to you. Okay. So that's kind of our to-do list, okay? So let's go find Lenny. I did one chore also. I went and got water from the lake and put it into the wash tin up here by the whatchamacallit. Oh yeah, Mary Beth wants to talk to us. Karen here was drunk and she hit on us, and Arthur called her out for being drunk and Karen got pissed. So that happened just a couple minutes ago. I guess before I go talk to Lenny, I want to come over here. No, you know what? I don't want to risk that. These things show up at certain times. I want to talk to Lenny right now.
Hey, Arthur.
Lenny, what's up, dude? Fill me in on this stagecoach robbery.
What you doing?
Nothing?
I don't believe you.
It's just a little robbery, all right? Nothing serious.
Good. What are you robbing?
A stage. There's a stage coming through. According to the fella I met, it'll have a bunch of money aboard and no security whatsoever as it comes up the river trail between here and Catfish Jackson.
Okay. That sounds worth investigating. You and, who?
I don't know. I thought I'd do it on my own. It'll be unprotected. It'll be a huge hit, but I should make out okay.
There ain't no such thing as unprotected. Now, who you want to go with?
I guess you.
Now?
Good choice.
I don't need no hand-holding offer.
Oh, come on, kid. But if we decide to do it once we've had a look, I'm taking half the money.
All right, let's get going then. It should be on its way right now.
I like Arthur's mentorship role here. Like, alone, the look that he gave him.
Seems like only yesterday you and me was shooting our way in here to rob those fools.
Yeah, I know.
I'll be glad to leave this place behind if I'm honest. Got a bad feel to it.
At least it's got a roof.
You've got a roof. Of course, I'm outside with the juniors.
Oh, you ain't even 20 years old. Your time will come.
He's 19? Wow.
Follow me. I saw
All
a
right.
good spot for an ambush.
So who's the feller told you about this?
It's
Hold on. Okay.
a sound lead, I told you.
And what did he have to gain by giving you this information?
You mean, did I give him money or a gun? You're just gonna have to trust me on this one, Arthur.
Okay, I do.
All right.
More than proved yourself the past 6 months.
Don't forget, I was on the run for murder before falling in with you boys. For 3 years. It ain't like I'm new to any of this.
Those fellers who killed your pa?
Yep. And I'd do it again right now.
Of course.
Okay, let's get the weapons we're going to be using. I think I'll go with the carbine repeater, and I want a shotgun. Whoops. Let's see, double-barreled, yeah. For my close quarters. Carbine repeater is pretty good for medium distance. Doesn't have the stopping power of the larger rifles, but it's quick. There we go. Can't talk to him, huh?
Okay, here we are. Let's leave the horses off the road to the right here. I figured we'd take up position behind these rocks.
Yeah, seems good.
The stage should be coming up the river from Catfish Jackson any time now.
Take cover and wait for the coach. Alrighty then. What kind of ammo do we have on hand? 187, good, and 62. 295 and 295, alright. That's right, off screen I camped out there at Riggs and made a bunch of split ammo cartridges.
No escorts neither. This should be a cakewalk.
Are you sure about that?
You see any? As soon as they're close enough, we'll jump out.
Better mask up.
Hit them fast.
Just wait for my lead, okay?
He ain't gonna wait.
I said wait for my lead.
This is a robbery. Drop your weapons and put your hands in the air. I said drop the weapon. Okay, okay. Just take it easy. All right, boy. Anyone else? Anyone inside there? Answer me. Last chance. Come out, or we're coming in. Shit.
U.S. Marshals.
Oh boy. Wrong weapon. Doggone it.
Are you?
Evidently.
That was not the way I was expecting things to go.
You took us into a trap.
Look, I'm telling you, it was good information. Wait. Look, there's some money here. Not much.
Yeah, it ain't much, because it was a trap. Stage companies do this all the time. They set up traps to catch fools.
Shit.
Like you and me.
I feel like a fool.
Well, that's good, because you are a fool. But you're still alive, so don't worry too much about it.
Learn from the mistakes,
Well,
that's
get
all.
out of here before any more turn up.
All right. See you back at camp.
All right, let's loot what we can as quick as we can. Okay, time to go. We didn't get everything, but good enough. Okay. How's health is looking good, actually. Well, there's a bounty on us. Well, all right. That's hard scripted. Because I had my mask on and it didn't care. So what we're gonna do... Let's see. There's a post office here. Let's go to here to pay the bounty. I'm just not sure. Can you guys let me know in the comments? I don't know if it's safe to go. I think I've done this before, but I can't recall. I don't know if it's safe for me to go and pay a bounty within a county that I'm wanted in. So I'm going to try and get out of this county and pay up here, but am I wasting my time? Because really what I want to do is I want to come over here. See, we could go right there, but I'm not really sure, so just it'd be nice to know.
Yep.
All right, let's get on out of here. And we'll head up to Emerald, pay our bounty, and jet back down to Saint Denis. We're at 13 minutes, so there's plenty of time in the episode. We should be able to get one of the things done in Saint Denis. So, I'm hearing when it comes to the whole immigration debate and due process and stuff, that some people are speculating that Trump has used this situation to basically be able to highlight how our system of governance is working in ridiculous ways, so that he can suspend habeas corpus. Now, here's, as I understand it, kind of what the, I guess, I don't know what word to use here. There's a contrast in how people act when Trump is in office and how people act when just about anybody else, including a Republican, when anybody from the mainstream, the what do they call it, the establishment, is in office, even when you're dealing with the same stuff. So they want they have come out, how do I want to put this, it started with that MS-13 guy. Well, it started before that, but let's start what I'm talking about with the guy that got deported for being a member of MS-13, got sent to El Salvador. There was a mistake on the paperwork. He technically wasn't supposed to go to El Salvador because there's a rival gang there, but he is El Salvadorian. The left painted this as if he was a Maryland father. In other words, the insinuation there is that you're supposed to think of him as an American. Obviously, he's not. He's here illegally. He's an El Salvadorian, and he's a gang member of MS-13 that has the tats to prove it. Now, as I mentioned in other videos, if you don't know, the way that I've heard it is that with MS-13, a literal devil-worshipping gang that tortures people as their form of worship towards Satan, you do not get a tattoo unless you murder somebody. And their form of murder includes torture. They don't just execute people. They draw it out. They get off on pain. So that's who that dude is. The left got mocked for this so hard that they eventually came out and started changing their argument. Instead of it being about kicking somebody out, a Maryland father, out of the country, you know, like they were saying things like, bring him back home. Bring him back home. He is home. He's El Salvadorian. See what I mean? They were painting him. They wanted you to draw the conclusion of he's an American. They want you to think in terms of, well, okay, technically it's true that he's not an American, but he wants to be an American. We just have a really, really big backlog. He's a refugee, and he's here and wants to become part of our nation. I believe that's what they were trying to hook into, the narrative they were hooking into. It failed horribly. So then they had to backtrack on that and say, because we came out and showed how horrible this guy was. It got into the news cycle, all the stuff this dude has done, what he's guilty of. And the left could not, no matter how much they tried through media pressure and political pressure, could not get El Salvadorian President Bukele to budge on this issue. So they had to back off of that idea that this was a Maryland father and we need to bring him home, because they were made to look foolish. The narrative was working against them. And remember, with the left, nothing is about facts. Everything is about story. They understand how important story is to people and how they understand reality. So they are completely about narrative, crafting it, maintaining it, both for themselves and against their opponents. This is how the left works, the political left. I'm not talking about voters right now. I'm talking about the people that make the plans. And so they went with Plan B. And Plan B, am I not in Emerald? Let me see where I'm at. I am in Emerald. Okay, it's just up the road then. Plan B then was to say, and I believe you saw this on The View, and there were a couple talking head news shows where it's opinion, like they're sharing different opinions and going back and forth, but they're supposed to be knowledgeable people that you can trust, and they bring a lot of technicalities to the table and stuff like that. They're still talking bullshit, but they'll wow you with they'll lie to you about what they know, and they'll present things in a false light. But for people who don't have legal backgrounds or anything, it can be rather convincing.
I'll be right over. I'm glad you're doing the
and
right
that
thing.
narrative was,
how can I be of service?
That it wasn't about this guy whose name I forget now, the El Salvadorian. It wasn't about him personally. It was about whether or not due process is being violated, which affects all of us. Now that's a fairly crafty narrative, but it in essence is a slippery slope argument. It's saying, oh my gosh, if we don't bring back this gang member, likely murderer, wife beater, then next step is all of us getting locked up, right? Or you've stepped off that's a bridge too far, and you're now on the slippery slope, and one thing's going to lead to another, and then we're all going to be jailed, and it's Nazi Germany all over again. That's kind of what they're going with. Okay, well, I could see how slippery slope arguments can be made, but this is how would you phrase this? It's a false equivalency. I know plenty about Nazi Germany. I did a lot of self-research into that. I don't know why. I can't explain it to you. I just found it fascinating. I believe it began with, how does a whole nation of people fall sway to this? Well, actually, to tell you the truth, it began with an interest in World War II and the tactical battles and strategies involved, and then led into the civilian population in Germany and domestic things that were happening within Germany. And that's really what I dedicated a lot more time to over the course of a number of years. And you just you have a false equivalency happening here, in my opinion. I think I have a solid opinion and a lot of reason to back that up with. I think they are screaming bloody murder and crying wolf over everything they can. I think they have ulterior agendas. And I think for their side and their people, they've got them so spun up on fascism and Hitler that as long as they make a parallel, even if there's not really any connections there, then it kind of tends to work for them. Now, I think it's working less and less. And so they're having to appeal more and more to the most dramatic and reckless and radical elements of their group, because most other people are leaving. Let's see. We'll eat some of that. Let's do... Fully restores all cores. Let's do oregano. Gold stamina core. Okay. Kidney beans. Okay, that should be good. And sleep till morning. And we'll feed the horse in the morning. So that's kind of the narrative they're running with right now, is that be afraid, due process is under threat. And the Supreme Court has upheld that argument, it looks like. Well, so... right now in the media, from the population side, so things like X.com, and I would imagine less so on Blue Sky, but in forums like that, it is being pointed out, hey, where was all this concern and judicial activism, like rapid midnight hour issuances of court decrees to stay moves, which means that judge had to do the research during the evening hours after a full day of work. It seems like there's an awful lot of motivation to work on protecting things like due process right now, and that was nowhere to be found whenever people were being locked away for J6, which has now been proven to have been, they were wrongfully jailed in most cases. So we have a case just a few years ago of judges and justices not being interested whatsoever and something that wound up being tremendously illegal and will be a blight on this country's history for all of eternity. We held political prisoners in the United States of America. That's complete anathema to what we're founded upon. It's the greatest. It's one of the greatest forms of hypocrisy I can think of. Political prisoners in the United States of America, jailed for wrongthink, tortured, in some cases, eyes beaten out of eye sockets, made to sleep in not even 5x5 cells, put into solitary confinement for months on end, put into 2x2 cells with a mop bucket to pee and poop in, and a coarse blanket to lay on, where the light stayed on all the time. Torture and attempts to break the mind were made to these people, and the judges and justices completely turned a blind eye to that for years on end. But all of a sudden, you have an illegal immigrant who is appropriately deported and is a proven danger to the community, and a member of a foreign domestic terrorist gang operation. They've been labeled as terrorists, MS-13, because we know that I think it was Colombia. They're being used like Iran uses Hezbollah and stuff. They're being used as a proxy to wage war and cause catastrophe inside of America. So that's a justified deportation. But because there were some things made wrong on a piece of paper, it gives them an in to suddenly make a challenge about, oh, well, where's the due process? And they are all about it. They are burning the wick at both ends, staying up till the midnight hour, working overtime to protect a foreign citizen. And he's not the only case. He's just the latest. Why is that? And people are asking that question. Let's see here. Horse. Brush.
Good, my girl.
Brush her one more time. Let's go check out the execution. I'm in that state of mind anyway. I want to see criminals get executed, man. Pay-per-view. Use it to, like a tax, you know? Fund some sort of inner city food program or something with the proceeds. So yeah, so we have justices that turned a blind eye during a clear-cut case of a violation of due process. No fair and speedy trial. In many, many, many cases, these people were held in prison. They were moved around from prison to prison, which is what you do to high-level criminals like shot callers and stuff, heads of KKK, stuff like that, in order to keep them from forging ties in prison and to keep them isolated. And they were moved around while waiting for a court date, sometimes for years. Where's the right to a speedy trial? It was completely violated, right? So where's your due process there? They turned a blind eye to that, but they are working overtime for a foreign criminal. And so now that's a lot of talking to kind of set the stage for what I am hearing, what people are beginning to speculate, is that Trump, understanding how the system works, did appropriate things and then let the deep state react the way that he knew the deep state was going to react. It causes all kinds of problems. It issues injunctions left and right. Whoa. Ah, I see. Let's try the old shotgun. That's what you get. These are some tribal looking dudes. Cannibals? Where did we import these guys from? Come on, man. Maybe they are escaped slaves. It is 1899. Well, I mean, that's quite a bit down the road, though. I don't know. Sure tried to set something up, though.
Yep.
So it's gotten a lot of bad press. People are drawing these conclusions. They're wondering why a double standard is being held. Oh, what did we just run over there? Alligator. Okay. And that's setting the stage then for Trump to suspend habeas corpus. Did I say that right? You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Under the invasion part of things. Like if you read the law, invasion is one of the reasons that you can suspend habeas corpus, and nobody can do anything about it. Like it literally says no court can step in and stop that if it's been, as long as it meets the requirements. So you can guarantee that if that's what Trump is going to do, the argument is going to be whether or not we're being invaded. I believe that for the left, this is a losing argument. If it wasn't, they would have already made that argument. They would have made it whenever Trump labeled groups like Tren de Aragua domestic terrorists, excuse me, not domestic terrorists, but terrorist organizations. They would have argued it whenever Trump named people who are burning Teslas are being arrested as domestic terrorists. I think if the left had a leg to stand on this issue, they would have already raised hell over it. The fact that they didn't makes me think they don't have an argument. They're still going to try now because their hand will be forced. But before their hand was forced, I think that they understood that to be a losing fight, and they focused their attention elsewhere. All right, let's see what happens here.
Yes. Oh, we are. Now, welcome one, welcome all to this excellent demonstration of my most marvelous machine, the electric ending facilitator. A chair so powerful, it takes the sinner back to God. Oh, come around. Come around.
Say what?
There. You're going to be in a better place. Stay calm. Breathe deep and repent, for you will be moved to a better realm. Ladies and gentlemen,
This is going to horrify people. They didn't put a bag over his head. The eyes are going to pop out.
Of this man's existence.
Oh,
Incredible! He's nearly dead. So humane. Oh, his life may have been troubled, but his passing is peaceful. Kill him already.
oh, he shocked himself.
Somebody shoot me, please.
Oh, let's get up. You don't seem overly humane to me.
I think it's mighty fine.
Ha. So I'm guessing the developers probably hold a position of execution is something that we shouldn't do at all. Like, we shouldn't have a death row. We shouldn't have people executed. And but they presented it in a very clever way where they left it open-ended. You make your own choice, right? But then again, they've got the framing set up here, right? I mean, how would you possibly walk away from this thinking, oh yeah, that's a humane operation? But this isn't reflective of what we do now. I mean, heck, right now we have injections that put a person to sleep and they just never wake up. I don't know. Maybe I don't know everything I'm talking about there. It's not an area I look into a lot, but I thought that we did. You know, so, and I'm someone who doesn't really think it's, well, if you committed a violent crime, I am not interested in making your passing as humane and easy as possible. I'm not angry at you, and I'm not looking for retribution. I just think the best use of your life, of what's left of it now, you worthless scumbag, is to serve as a warning to others. So I don't necessarily need to torture you in public. I don't think that's good for people to see. But I don't think it should be something simple. Oh, you know, or something quick and easy. But that's my take. Okay, what do we got here? It's 37 minutes, almost 38. Let's go see Brother Dorkins.
Only temporary. This'll all be sorted out soon, I promise.
So yeah, I think that the upcoming argument that we're going to see here in America is going to be, does the number of illegals brought in, which is substantial, particularly under the Biden administration, constitute an invasion? And we'll have to see what that answer is. I think legally speaking, it should. But we have a lot of politics happening over here right now, and the left still does have their hands on, well, it's not even just the left, it's the establishment, it's the deep state, the uniparty. Still has their hands on a lot of levers of power, and and the government is seated with a lot of their people. So, you know, I don't know. It's interesting.
Take your time.
Sister, my friend, Mr. Morgan.
Oh, sir. Brother Dorkins told me about the wonderful thing you did.
Oh, he talks a lot of nonsense. No offense.
None taken at all. Hey, stop!
These kids to the worst!
Don't hurt him, please!
Don't hurt him. What about just a little bit?
You little bastards!
Where'd he go? Question.
You alright?
Oh, I'll live.
Kid did this?
You know him?
He robbed me. Which way you go?
That way, think.
Thank you.
Okay, got it. I see how it's done now. I was looking at my
Where's my
mini
watch,
map.
you little weasel?
I don't know nothing about no damn watch.
Last Saturday I saw
Hey, you! Why don't you leave the boy alone?
What's it to do with you?
I can hit a lot harder than you. I promise you that.
All right, forget it. Little shit ain't even worth my time.
Thanks, mister.
Pick up the crucifix. Oh, okay. I guess we're done with the kid. Where's it at? Pick up, there we go.
Hey, you want some company, mister?
No.
You sure?
Hey,
What?
I know you. This is Downs?
Oh, no. Not you. Get away.
Hi,
Now.
I mean, hey.
Help! Help!
Hold on.
This man is bothering
Now-
me. Someone help me. Officer, help!
Okay. So, that's the beginning of a sad story right there.
Shit.
25% to level 6. Oh, okay.
What happened to him?
I'm just sweaty. Look at
Oh,
Now you leave me alone. Oh my God.
Ah, shit!
Please.
Don't
Shit!
help someone.
okay. Uh-oh. Doggone it.
Come on, somebody get this fool already.
Almost made it away.
Jesus Christ! Someone get him.
Here comes the horse.
It's him.
Okay, girl.
Maybe go down this way. Through here. Lose them through the back alleys. Keep jogging left and then, I don't know, is this north or what? And then out of town. There we go. How are we doing? We're doing fine when it comes to health. Okay, we're gonna go pay another bounty. Right up here again. So it's just, for me, this is fascinating to watch. You know, it's been a while since I was in college and looked at some, took some history classes.
Yeah.
And then also, oh, what's going on here? Hold on. You didn't return the crucifix. Oh, okay. I gotta accomplish both of these things. I have to evade the law and return the crucifix. Okay. So it's hard for me to think of some concrete examples, but I know that watching what's unfolding right now and the finding out of all the fraud in the American government, and that, so for example, there was an academic study done to look at our system of governance without taking any presuppositions, you know, because like we're a constitutional republic, right? This study threw that out the window and just decided to look at how things work here and then identify which form of government that equated to. And they found... Aren't I supposed to turn this in somewhere? I guess we'll go here, guys. I don't really know what to do. They found that we're an oligarchy. Special interests. And that's not really shocking, but when you start to uncover just how deep the rot is and how blatantly illegal things are run, I guess it does, you know, it is stunning, especially as it's probably less stunning to people who live outside the United States and watch how we operate. But for those of us who are American and we're raised with American values and certain ideas that we're even willing to risk our lives for other people, which is what my story is, you know, then it's a little stunning, I think, the depth of depravity.
How instead of why? Often the people that are most in...
Mr. Morgan!
Excuse me, Father. Sister, I got your cross.
You didn't.
Oh, I did.
Oh, I hope the boy...
He's fine, physically. Mentally, he's a piece of work, but who am I to say?
Brother Dorkins was right about you. You are the most wonderful man.
Brother Dorkins is greatly deceived, I'm afraid, but I'm happy to help a little.
Thank you. You see, it's a thing, but my mother gave it to me when I was a novice, shortly before she passed. You are the most wonderful man.
Well, excuse me, Father. Sister, enjoy your day.
See, Father? Brother Dorkins found him.
Okay, mission complete. Now, are we still wanted? We're wanted in the county, so we do need to get out of here.
Hello, mister.
Oh, shoot. Well, I guess we're not in that much trouble. We're gonna go up there anyway.
Will you move?
Damn. Out of whistling range. Gotcha. So the thought that I was trying to complete there is that I can't think of a specific historical example right now, but watching all of this unfold and how this administration is able to, with regularity, create situations that point out the ridiculous positions that these people hold, and to enlist the people on its side. You know, I don't know what the results are going to be yet. I pray that they're going to be great and that we can return this nation to being governed the way that it was intended to be. But what I've witnessed so far, and I guess beginning in 2016, with Trump being an outsider, I think that was the big thing. You have like a criminal racket here where the choices were almost, they were like pre-selected by the deep state as to who we would get to vote for. And no matter which way it went, those people would be agreeable to certain core values that the deep state held. And to watch all of that kind of getting at least exposed, and in my opinion, dealt with to some degree, not as fast as most would like. We have a lot of frustration on our side, as a matter of fact, in regards to this. But stamina increased. Oh, am I getting really, really tired? Yeah. Here she comes. But I put it on par with reading about cataclysmic moments in history. You know, like the coalition of power in various governments through medieval times. The Enlightenment period, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, these cataclysmic moments where the status quo shifted hard and suddenly. And all of those situations, there's a set of circumstances that happens that lets people know, holy smokes, we're being lied to constantly about everything. And these people are actually holding us down in bondage. Let's shoot that gator. That's good meat. I don't know what star level it was. Just a 1 star? Okay, fine. So I don't know if I'm really being clear, because a lot of times I'm just speaking off the top of my head. I don't have anything worked out or pre-planned on what I'm going to talk about. I just kind of bring up whatever. If I have kill time and we're riding on a trail, I bring up whatever's in my mind. So I'm not really positive whether I'm making sense to you all, but I am seeing circumstances come together that are causing a pretty radical shift in thinking. The Democrat Party is a dead man walking right now. They have lost over the years. Not just recently, but the Biden presidency did an awful lot to disillusion a lot of their voters, and many of them came to MAGA's side. So it's just been a really big shift. You can look at these CNN polls where they have the guy that shows you the stats and stuff. It's a momentous time where a big shift in thinking is happening that transcends party lines. Okay, are you still a 3 star? Yes. Okay. That's what we'll grab. We'll throw the other one away. And so to me, that's exciting. We are living in a historical moment. I'm telling you, we've yet to see how it turns out, and history is sometimes written by the victors, you know. But I believe that we'll see this in history books one day. You know, it's hard to evaluate it in the moment because sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. People have allegiances. It's highly charged, emotionally charged. There are winners and losers. People have stuff to lose, you know, so they take vested interest in holding positions that have nothing to do with truth, but instead in preserving their way of life. Right now, it's very difficult to ascertain the importance of what's happening. But you get 20, 50, 100 years down the road, and people will look with a much more clear eye, with a much less bias at what's happening. And why, you know?
Yep.
And I think that we're living that in real time right now. We're the players. We're the people that they will be writing about, that they will be looking back on and studying. All of the social media posts to kind of chart how people are feeling. I believe that people will eventually do some sort of a deep dive and be able to track a general trend in how people are thinking over a period of 10, 15, 25 years. And to dissect. Like, they'll make movies about this period of time. It's dramatic. There's a lot going on, and I'm very excited to be part of it, and I'm very appreciative, I would say, to the Holy Spirit for being cognizant and aware that everything happening right now is very momentous. Because like I said, I think... Uh-oh.
Oh, now. Shh. There's a girl. Now. Yeah.
Is that wolves or, let's see. Rolling block, double-barreled shotgun.
¡Socorro! ¡Por favor! ¡Así! ¡Ay, mierda! ¡No me quedan balas!
Whoa. Easy.
Well, if these were 3 stars before, they're not anymore.
God for you, mister. Le debo la vida.
Okay, he gave me some ammo. Thanks, amigo. I appreciate it. I'll be quite honest with you. I wasn't just here because it's the right thing to do. That's part of it. But I need 2 perfect wolf pelts for the camp. So I don't think these are them because they didn't give me a star rating. But we'll grab it anyway. Donated at camp. So yeah, I'm very grateful to the Holy Spirit for having me be cognizant that what we're witnessing right now is something worth paying attention to, worth trying to understand as it unfolds in real time. The back and forth happening and the stakes at play. See the bullet holes? You cannot harvest all. Okay. I've got a lot in my satchel. Stow this. We're going to head back to camp now.
Yeah.
Or, well, I guess I'm going to Emerald and then I'm going to camp to turn this stuff in. And we're pretty close to an hour, but unlike last time, I'm not going to put you on pause or anything. We're just going to, you know, last time I needed to put you on pause because I had a lot of time left for what I wanted to get done. Here, we'll just kind of go over time and keep the ride, you know, so you don't miss anything. I like you guys to be able to get a sense of the distance traveled by Arthur and stuff. So the Pope passed away. I'm not a Catholic, but I have respect for Catholicism, and I believe we are entering a time where the divisions between the church are going to be lessening. You'll still have denominations, but not necessarily divisions. I think you're going to start... I don't have a lot to base this on. It's what I think I'm hearing from the Lord. And that the church is going to be coming together more and more. So this Pope, I wasn't a fan of him. Okay, now... I want to say I can't speak on that from a theological perspective very well because I know more of his political position, but I know that the theological position that he holds, in my opinion, it's not Christian. It's not demonic. I'm not trying to say that. It's it's a political ideology with a cross hung around it. And I forgot already what it's called. It comes from South America, which is where he was from. Restitution theology. Doesn't seem like it. Restitution is the right word. Pretty sure it does start with an R. But it's kind of a Marxist view. So I'm just trying to not hide anything and be transparent. I wasn't a fan of him. I thought he took some positions theologically that were wildly erroneous. But that said, he was the Pope, and so I don't want to demonize the guy. I don't know enough, to be able to do that. That's God's job. Pay bounty.
Ready for a clean slate?
So I say all that just to number one, be completely upfront and honest and not try to hide anything. It would have been a lot more diplomatic of me and maybe even smarter for me to have not said anything at all, but I feel like that ends up being a lie of omission. And I prefer being frank with people without it pitting us against each other, So that was my take on him. But number two, the big interest I have right now is not with the former Pope, but with who's going to be next. Because we have seen that this has global implications. There's not another faith leader on the planet that has the influence on global economics as the Pope. Not that I know of. You could point to Islamic leaders because Islam does have an enormous outsized impact, particularly through, I think it's a negative impact. The side of the impact that I'm thinking of is an infiltration, terrorist organizations, fighting against the Satan, little Satan and great Satan, that part of things. But they don't have like a singular leader, so they're more, what do they call that? Decentralized. The next guy that I could think of that I know of would be maybe the Dalai Lama or maybe the elders of the Mormon Church. And in both cases, you're not remotely close to the amount of influence and social influence, not infiltration. Infiltration's not the word I'm looking for, but ties to cultures and governments and money, and organization that the Catholic Church brings to the table.
This ain't just. Keep your distance. Got a criminal here.
So what the next Pope believes in, both theologically and politically, is of interest to me. So I'm waiting to see who that's going to be. I forgot about Orthodoxy. Orthodoxy has a leader also, but again, I guess if you were Russian, you would view him as having a lot of influence. But I'm from a Western civilization nation, and so that's going to be much more impacted by Catholicism. But there does seem to have been a rise in the appeal of Orthodoxy as well.
Yeah.
Gosh, I saw some videos of various places in the world and their Easter participation, and the numbers. This is across the gamut. This is Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant. I forget what they're called. Maybe it's the Copts. There's a sect down in Egypt that I saw a video of. That these people showing up to celebrate Easter service, it's huge numbers. And Gen Z is actually a really big part of that, actually. We're seeing a big return to at least an interest in the divine as an explanation for reality. That's one of the things that marks our postmodern era. We're not in the age of modernity anymore. The age of modernity is what I grew up in. That was the 20th century. Science. If you can't taste, feel, touch, then if you can't measure it, then it's not real. That kind of an idea. The general belief that science was really the one true answer, and you were free to believe in other stuff, but you were kind of looked at as foolish and a child, if you did. The postmodernity rejects all of that. Postmodernity does not like to have one answer, because postmodernity doesn't believe that there's an objective truth. That has its own problems. But what it's causing is kind of like the kickback that you had when the Romantic period began as a kickback against the Enlightenment period. You have something similar happening right now, because you can't measure love, but you can feel it. It's real, right? So then that breaks the theory that if you can't measure it, then it's not real. And we're having something similar happening now. So a lot of Gen Z are at least expressing interest in the divine as an explanation for reality. It doesn't mean that they've completely signed up and are on board, but they are attending church with open ears and open hearts. And I think that's a fascinating cultural shift from the world that I grew up in, where it could sometimes be kind of hard.
It's me.
Good to see you back in one piece.
To be a Christian. You got mocked a lot, or it was insane. Look at this owl just hanging out in the middle of the air. It was insinuated that you were silly or stupid or dumb. You were dumb. What am I looking for? Naive, uneducated. You hadn't really spent any time looking into the truth of things because you were tragically incurious. That kind of a stuff. That's the world that I grew up in. I am not going to talk to you, Uncle, not right now. And that is not what Gen Z is doing. Let's donate.
My table awaits your offerings, Mr. Morgan. All right, Pearson.
I'm going to go ahead and donate this too.
Stocked.
Because I've got a lot of meat on me. I want to keep the predator bait. I might as well keep that as well. Here you go. You can.
Fine, but make sure you get a good price for it. Thank you, Arthur.
All right, well, let's see if we can get some stew. Oh, shoot, I don't know if I fed my horse, and I need to make sure about that or she's going to get thin again. She was straight up malnourished whenever I got onto the game today. I was telling you guys about that. Feed. We're going to feed her 4 times.
Here, girl.
You know what? We're going to feed her 2 times. There. And then check her in the morning, and then we'll save the game. We're at a minute, about an hour 10. Not a minute, but an hour. I need to go find Stu. I love those songs, man. They sound cool. And Javier can sing too. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation for it. It's not like my whole life, Hispanics, my best friend has usually been Hispanic. I don't know what it is. There's something about the culture that appeals to me. There's a general stereotypical personality type associated with Hispanic people that I like. So I don't have a lot of explanation for that.
Gentlemen.
It just kind of is what it is.
Hello, Arthur.
But, you know, it's not like I grew up in the barrio. I didn't grow up with Spanish music around me, you know, or Tejano or anything like that. But I hear these songs around a campfire and I love them. I would rather hear a song like this than a country song. I've never been a big fan of country. I don't mock people who do like country. And there are a few country songs I've heard that I really like a lot, but it's never been high on my list. But listening to that dude just kind of play the guitar and sing in that traditional, not a Tejano style, but more of like a Hispanic romantic song, like a Julio Iglesias or Julio Iglesias Jr. sort of styles. Well, Julio Iglesias Jr. would be a little bit more pop oriented, but his father was traditional. And they sound like good campfire songs. I forgot to brush.
Now, hold still, girl.
All right. Now, finally, I think that we can go upstairs, get some shut-eye. And then come down and check the horse. Well, we don't have to come down. We can look at it in the status screen. Poor Reverend his life is miserable, man. Okay. It's a lot of glow. Sleep until morning. All right, just 5 hours. That's not enough, but it'll have to do. I cannot remember, guys, if this is your Wednesday episode or your Thursday episode. I don't know if you guys saw this. This might have happened off screen before the episode where I showed you where that murder tree was at. I came across this dude in the swamp and he was dead and he had a withered arm. And that's what it says here. Stumbled across a corpse in the swamp. Poor guy had a withered arm. Lady's slipper orchid. Yeah, I found that while I was out in the wilds. They apparently sell well in the cities. There's the legendary buck that we killed. Another body that seems linked somehow to the previous one. More paper in the mouth, maybe directions to someplace. I don't know. That was the murder. Took McDaniels in and watched him fry. Weren't very nice. Weren't very humane. The professor got upset, got involved before possibly killing himself with electricity. And I never got paid money. If they catch me, I pray they hang me. That chair is the work of the devil. Well, it gets better, Arthur. All right. There we go. Let's create a save point. Well, let's check player status first. Underweight, so we'll need to eat. Fit, clean, and calm. Okay, let's take care of Arthur first before saving it. And we'll go... Oh, everything's yellow. How did I do that? Let's have plain big game. Oh, it must have been from the camp stew. Eat a pear. Probably should save the fresh stuff for the horse. Eat some sweet corn. That's probably enough, but I always like to throw a carb in there. So we'll go with baked beans. And now we will save it. Story. All right, guys. Quite a bit of politics discussion today because I was looking at it right before recording this, and that's what was on my mind. And we had a lot of ride time. Just double check there. Creeping up on 49%. I guess creeping up on 50% done. So we'll see what the next episode brings us. But again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods. And I'll see you in the next episode where this story continues.